and welcome to the Cat Collective. My name is Nina, I'm the channel for this channel, and let's start. Breakthrough, okay, nice. Didn't want to say it, but I felt anxious in the beginning. It was a bit of an existential thing, so can't read. Oh, bottom of the deck is love. A very strange love card, though, I think, because it has something of the Three of Swords, right? Let's keep it like that. And the other is cannabis, detachment, okay? Interesting that this means detachment, right? But I kinda get the idea. Well, let's see. Breakthrough. I feel that the breakthrough is within the detachment somehow. Caching. Oh yeah. Okay. And observation. Interesting. So pull some more. Yep, no more. Stars again. Oh, and clouds. Very sky air cards, right? And again, a window can also be an observation card. Yeah, when you look outside of the window. I don't want to say that the observation is so if someone looks into the window, you know, that would be a bit creepy, wouldn't it? Just saying. Yeah. I feel that there's, with this air, the air cards are important, right? Or the sky cards. Very uplifted, uprooted, detached energies with cannabis as well, you know. It's a bit like detaching from reality sort of thing. But I don't feel it that way because I feel this is very, even though this uplifted movement is going up, it's more, it's very down to earth actually, but it's in a different way. So what I mean is, with the caching, I feel that you are detaching from what is usually seen as what you are supposed to be detached, attached to. So this could be, I feel that you are making an overhaul about your life. So what are you doing? Observation and analyzing what your day consists of. And I think you are coming to the conclusion that caching is something you need to do. Maybe you haven't done it. It's a typical thing of, maybe you're making a list of finances. It could be that you are just analyzing your money situation. This is very down to earth. But it can also be a very head in the clouds type of thing when you are considering your dreams and how you can reach them, right? And this, of course, in most cases hangs or is attached to saving up, right? And in this case, I think you are analyzing this. The love and stillness. Yeah, stillness, of course, is for me, that's a meditation card, right? And also with the skull that's open and the flower that's coming out of it, that's a very meditative card. But in this case, I feel the love is, in a way, toxic love. And toxic love is when you are overly attached to something that it makes you unhealthy, right? it can be literally an attachment to anything, and anything can become some sort a bit toxic when you are too attached to it. Even if it's a job situation or a living circumstance, when you are detaching from everything and just going solely on what is good for you, right, with the observation, right, then you see that sometimes an attachment is not healthy, right? And when you detach from it, it can feel it's a bit misleading, right? Because of the bloody tears here, when you are leaving a situation that is not good for you, then you still might feel bad about it in some ways because you are ending something, and then you are sad about the end, even though you know it's for the better. And that's misleading, right? That's just not as easy as something you get rid of and you're happy about it, right? So that's interesting that this is on the table here. But I think in this case, it could be something that you think is hard to detach from. But once you've done it, it feels easier. So it could be old habits, old spending habits, for example, where you are randomly spending money, for the little bits. But if you are looking at the big bits and then are or at the end of the month or a few months, and just calculating and sorting it all through, categorizing everything, then you might see that all the small bits, if you wouldn't have spent them, you would have had so much more. And I feel that you are going to an extreme almost to save up now. I feel it's the decision of a maybe no spend year or something like that, where you're just allowing yourself food and shelter, so to say, and some other basics. But I feel that it goes even further. I feel that even the food you are parting ways with, that you're just allowing yourself to eat a certain amount of food. And it's not in a toxic way, right? It's in a beneficial way and in a way that leads you to a breakthrough, right? It's this going through the hardship of this to come out of the other side with healthier habits, right? And with something else that is more long-term, with those, when you put things aside for later. And that's what you have, maybe by the end of the year you are much healthier, or not just a year or whatever time frame you are doing this. I feel it needs to be a limited time frame, so you have a point to work towards. If you say this should be indefinitely for longer, from now on, I think that there is something that takes away the motivation for it. I feel there needs to be a before and after, right? So I think that's important in this. How does this card play in though, right? It comes up often. And it looks to me that this is the richness of nature this time, right? Especially if you are restricting yourself in some areas, and I think that by the end of it, not to take away too much of it, I feel that if you stick with it, you might discover that you gain so much more from it than the way you have lived before, that you are going to take it even more extreme, if this is even possible. It could be, it's so much detachment from stuff, right? From stuff that surrounds you, that you love, but that is becoming toxic, right? It's like having some a collection, for example. If you have a collection of things, it's a good excuse to go shopping for something more, because you have a collection, right? That's a weak spot. Whereas in other areas you might be very strict with purchasing, but when you have a collection, it's very loose. You know, you get to a point where you are collecting things, and then it tips over at some point, and you get a bulk offer, for example. You get, where it somehow always tips a bit when you are collecting things and you are serious about collecting, and it piles up and it piles up and it collects dusts and all of that, and then all of a sudden you get a bulk offer, something, whatever, in a big bulk, and you purchase it maybe for cheaper than what you would get it for when you are as if you were to buy those items separately. But this washes out the preciousness of each item, if that's a thing. So I feel that there's a lot of decluttering here, also of some sort of collection. It could be that you are just becoming the opposite, right? That no spend days are your collection now, and you can't get it in bulk, it's day by day. But I feel that there's a big detachment of things that weigh you down, and especially if you are collector of items, because those items, they are precious and they're nice, and it could be that you take some pride in collections, but what you might not realize is, or maybe what this love for things might wash away, is just that you are held down by them. Maybe you can't move, maybe you have the physical restriction of having to keep things is in itself a prison, because you are not free to go. It also creates anxiety, because you want to protect what is yours, right? And it's not with caching. In this, it's like hiding the stuff that you are collecting, and then digging it out later. But this can, if you have the tendency to overthink, this can also lead to anxiety, just because if you are, you are scared of losing things, and this is anxiety. It's just the less you have, the more you are free, and the less there is to protect and to be scared of losing. It's a bit, it's facing the fear of losing things, right? Because you are deliberately parting with some things you might be afraid to lose. It's very materialistic, what I said, I feel it's very down to earth material stuff, but it leads to this situation, which is the moment. And what is important is, nature itself gives you so much back, when you have the opportunity to go into nature and just to experience it. You don't go to an expensive hotel. No, you just go camping maybe, right? And that's, not that much stuff is needed. In fact, it's better if you carry less. But in return, you get back so much more, which is just moments, lightheartedness with this and observation of nature. And also I feel that with the leather and the mushroom, that there's this uplifting feeling of being light and free. In a way, you don't, the point of it all is that in the end, you still, you will not be able to take anything with you. So why would you spend a lifetime protecting items when in the end you have to part with them? And if you have ever had someone near and dear who is not around anymore, and maybe you have experienced this, I don't wish this for anybody, but if you have, if you have to work through someone's possessions who has passed away, what they have left behind. If you have inherited something from a family, right? Someone from a family, and you have to work through it. You see how how tiring this is, and that in the end, the items that you associate the most with those people are the items they have used every day. It could be a mug, it could be a special fork, something, their favorite plate, their favorite jumper, even though they have a full closet full of clothes that they always had, but never wore, those special occasion clothings. Those are not the ones that you feel inclined to keep and that you associate most with people, It's the tiny, insignificant things that you don't, that don't cost that much money, but that they had in their hands all the time, that suddenly become precious and just, you can't pay, you can't exchange this for money, those items. But the other things, they are just baggage and just a nuisance to deal with, where the other items are so much more precious. And I feel that maybe you are realizing this, that, if you have less, you have more precious items, that it's also nicer to look at. If you open a cupboard and you have just a few things and a few selected things, and maybe you exchange things, it could be, but for items that you really love, right? Some really precious things that might be a little bit more expensive, but that you really, really cherish, So I feel that there's something going on. Or it could be also the exchange for a lifestyle, right? So just a complete overhaul of what you were doing versus maybe what you have inherited yourself, behaviors, something that you just don't overthink because it has always been that way. And then you suddenly realize, oh, wait, I just do it differently, It could be that you were someone who liked thrifting a lot, but suddenly it doesn't fulfill you as much as maybe getting some items that are new, but from maybe handmade from artists or something like that, right? So, something like that. Whereas it's about values, and also maybe I feel that maybe there's no purchases at all that involved. I want to say that because in the end, it's about experiences, right? And what you can do with things. And things need to enable you to do things and not hinder you to do things, right? There's a groundbreaking realization, and also, just the sheer fact that you can't take anything with you. So why holding on to it and not just, be free and have less anxiety about losing anything, because in the end you don't lose anything, right? So I feel that is observation. It's very, I love that. I love the energy of this. But I'm also, it's a bit emotional, and I feel the initial anxiety, though, is loosening up or dissolving because you are detaching from everything that used to be, and therefore going towards something that is going to be, right? Stars. Speaking of stars, let's see. Let's pull a dream card. Because I feel that this deck really resembles it a bit, the path, somehow. And I hope that we get a card we didn't have before. Let's see. Nope. Oh, no? Yeah, well, we had both of them before in the readings, so. But yeah, I guess create and purpose. Yeah, I feel this frees you up to, when you create a clean slate and push things aside and rearrange things, part with things that you were once attached to, and you are doing things completely in a fresh way, right? With this tiny box, I want to say, you can then create something new. And that's the exciting part about it. And I think that's what you realize quite quickly. I feel that the first, if you want to do this, try something like try your wardrobe first. That's the easiest, and then go further, right? And then maybe you go and detach from a few items first, but then it turns out that it's fun, and then work yourself through it. And most of all, it gives you a purpose. It gives you something to do, right? Because it moves energy, right? And purpose, in a way, it's time spent. It's a good way to spend time, because it prepares you to for a new adventure, right? And then for a new creation, and the new creation needs to stem from something that was not there before. And I feel that you need some inspiration, right, to do things. And I feel that look at this image, it's important. So there's this tiny box. There's still stuff that fits in there, right? Stuff to create, right? But it's not that much, and it's quite selected. And there's this light that shines through the door, and you don't know what is in there, because technically it shouldn't be possible that there's underneath the water that there's this much light, right? But it is, and they even, the lantern leads you to this, and then you are discovering this beautiful landscape, which has everything. You have everything you need. It's the whole world. It's there's water, there's land with which gives you which provides food and shelter, and then there are the stars, which I think resemble dreams, and there's the moon. I want to say the moon is magnetic, right? It pulls you in, it lures you in. It's just a beautiful, inspiring light, right? And the stars. It's as if the clouds are moving away and you are seeing new possibilities. Whereas before that, there was just dust. Dust, just weighing you down, right? And then you clear it up and there's not much left, but there's more. There's not much left, but there's more left with the air around you, right? It clears, the dust is going away because you're giving away everything that is dusting through the environment. And especially, if you're parting with items that you cherish and you see that you know, it could be that you are not parting in a rational way. Like, if you have, I don't know what collection you could have, but something of value, right? And you might not give it to someone who would pay you the most, but for someone you know who would appreciate things the most, right? Who would take care of your stuff the most. That's important, right? I think that's important, more important than the face value of what it would be worth financially for your peace of mind, you know. So that's beautiful, and then you are opening up your adventure, and I feel the excitement of it, but also the nostalgia of having left behind so many things. But it's good, you know. It's a growth phase. That's breakthrough. So I'm gonna pull another animal card. See what we get here. So I find it very interesting how they wrap up. Oh, the hummingbird. Ooh. Of course, an air card. Duh. So let's see. I'm gonna read. It's literally facing my fear. Reading out loud in English. Duh. I feel like every time I'm picking up this book, I feel it. You know, I feel a bit like in school, and I'm being judged for my abilities to read. Okay, hummingbird. Positive, enthusiastic, spiritually resourceful. Inside the tiny hummingbird resides an endless well of energy and positivity. The hummingbird's secret is that it has learned where to gather nectar, and it returns to these sources daily for nourishment and rejuvenation. This sacred elixir springs from many sources, but usually involves nature, creativity, and exploring spirituality. Follow the way of the hummingbird and you cannot go wrong. Every droplet of life becomes sweet, every moment worth savoring. Yeah, it fits. Yeah, it does, right? When in balance, smart, curious, loves to learn. And when out of balance, pushy, insistent, and sharp. And to bring into balance, take a class. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, yeah, of course. You know, let's say you spend all your finances, so to say, to purchase items, and then you are deciding, okay, look, doesn't work apparently, right? And you scratch this out of your life, right? But just gone. And then you save up, and then you have money to spend for different things, and suddenly you're like, I want to learn something, because the external clutter that surrounds you also clutters your mind. And when you have more space for just life, or, you know, just for anything, right? Then it might lead you to take some classes that you always pushed aside because of the financial value of those classes. You know, could be something expensive that you previously wouldn't have treated yourself with. So I guess it's a win-win outcome, because it's more an experience and it keeps you mentally entertained. Whereas if you are just on the stuff side of things, yes, you have those things, but it's just dust in the end, right? So yeah, I hope that's helpful. Additional info is in the litter box below. And let's see who this reading is for. Okay, Sag, okay, there you go. Yeah, so bye-bye.